Labour's Jon Ashworth was left stunned by Andrew Marr this morning after the BBC host ended his interview by remarking that the Shadow Health Secretary was boring. The remark left the Shadow Health Secretary was left shocked when Marr said he was trying to get an interesting answer out of the MP. The tense moment took place as Marr questioned Mr Ashworth on whether the government will have to hike up taxes to recover from the coronavirus crisis. Mr Ashworth refused to answer the question, insisting his focus was on the crisis at hand and not the burden of taxation down the line. Marr then remarked he was only trying to get an interesting response from the MP, leaving Mr Ashworth to apologise for not being interesting enough. The BBC host questioned whether national insurance contributions would have to be raised once the UK begins its recovery from the coronavirus crisis. Mr Ashworth responded, "Let's get through the crisis before we start writing the new budget." He continued, "We will have to look at the burden of taxation as we try to rebuild our society after the crisis. I am not sure you can expect me to itemize specific taxation levels when the priority has to be getting through this crisis here and now." Marr rebuked Jonathan Ashworth, "I was only trying to get an interesting answer from you, but thank you very much indeed." The Labour MP said, "Sorry I was not interesting enough for you, I do apologise." Marr added, "You did your very best." The bizarre moment sparked a flurry of reaction online, with several viewers condemning Marr for being incredibly rude. Other comments praised Marr for trying to get Earlier in the interview, Mr Ashworth rejected claims that Labour were trying to score political points following criticism of the government during the coronavirus crisis. He said, "We're raising these issues not to undermine Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock, not to secure some political point, but because we all want the national effort to succeed." The Shadow Health Secretary also urged the government to be crystal clear about which work is essential, and which is not. He said, "Here are many non-essential workers being forced to go to their workplaces where they cannot be 2 meters apart.